Well, like we said earlier, we'll put the replays up. We had Sean Mize here with us. If you don't know Sean, you're going to get to know him pretty well here over the next half hour, 45 minutes. But we know Sean, going back probably 2 years ago, Sean, we picked up one of your reports, the WSO Master Report, which Mark and Brian and I were talking. It was responsible for all of us going full time because it helped us see the light with what product creation could do for you, rather than chasing this program and that program that promises easy riches. You pretty much pulled the curtain back and it showed what it takes to go full time, and that it takes work and how products can take you there.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was the reason I'm full time able to do this now. The WSO Master Report. Has anybody else ever told you that before?
Wow. Well, sometimes you read a kudo here and there, but you don't realize the import of it, and that makes me feel pretty good. Gotta be honest with you, that's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't know, maybe Sean, you can put a link up. I don't know if you even still sell it anymore, but you break down what it means to put buyers on your list, what it means to take consistent weekly action, and then the potential that can come from that. So here's Mark joining right now. Hey, Mark.
Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry for the delay, Sean.
No worries. We just mentioned to Sean the WSO Master Report, and you were talking about that earlier also.
Oh, what a kickstart. I mean, that was my Bible for my first 6 months or longer, Sean, I got to say. It was amazing to see the way you broke it down by the numbers, which I really appreciated.
Wow. All I can say is that's really cool. Here's the thing, and you guys know this now. A lot of times when you create a product, you put everything you can into it. You try to put what you think is going to change people's lives, but until people use it and figure out doesn't make any difference if whatever it is works or not. If folks can't use the information, and it doesn't come across in a usable fashion, then it's sort of like it's useless. And to hear this, I mean, you have no idea how I feel right now. I'm like, wow, that's really pretty awesome.
But honestly, I mean, you take this concept of product creation, which is, let's face it, intimidating to so many people. And you start off with this wicked end result and break it down into how it's achievable weekly, daily, hourly. And all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, I can do that. It's bite-sized chunks. And that's how I think I can speak for Shane, both Shane and I got started, and we're able to go full time. So, I mean, it was wicked.
Yeah, Sean, I mean, I looked at your stats yesterday. I mean, you've done almost 35,000 sales on WarriorPlus, plus God knows how many sales on JVZoo and inside your own funnels. What does it take to get to that 35,000 sales?
I think that the biggest thing that comes to mind is doing it over and over and over and over again. I remember that, my first WSO, if I did 10 sales the first week, that was amazing. And it's really easy to walk away from that. I have clients before that'll run 2 or 3 WSOs, get 30 sales, lose money on the deal because by the time they put money into it, you do 30 sales, you've lost money on the deal. You've lost time on the deal. But what happened for me was, as I continue to do more and more, those buyers continue to buy again and again. I mean, there's probably people that have bought 40 times from me or 60 times from me. And there's people that buy almost everything that's put out. In order for somebody to buy 60 items, you got to create 60 items, and it's not the first week. It just happens. It happens over time. The second thing that happens is affiliates. And affiliates is so dangerous to talk about affiliates, especially to people that are brand new, because they create a product and then you go try to find 100 affiliates to promote it, and nobody will promote it because they're unknown. And until you have like 10 products and until you've made a few hundred sales, no affiliate's going to touch you. And so if you get into this saying, oh, I'm going to, do the whole affiliate marketing thing, and you create 10 products and you get one affiliate that makes 3 sales for you, you're like, oh, this affiliate stuff doesn't work. So affiliates work. You've been a great affiliate for me, but you didn't begin to do that until you developed trust, and it took time to develop trust. And then I think that the third thing is recognizing that some failures occur. You look at 35 sales. I got some products out there that were massive failures that, people didn't like, that didn't sell real well, and you pull it down and you go do another.
Yeah, that's the same for us. I know my first product was like 30 sales, and then even after I reached that tipping point, with our students, we tell them you have to be willing to put out 5 to 6 products before you even make a judgment on this business. And you can't, we always try to temper expectations in the beginning also with product creation. You see it every day. People come in and say, oh, I'm going to do 1,000 sales on this. They get disappointed and they quit. But it's really those that can stick with it, get through those sticking points, not take it emotionally or personal. The ones that we see successful. We've had students that have wanted to quit because their first 3 launches didn't make them a millionaire overnight, or they didn't do 1,000 sales like they see other people doing. They don't realize that it takes years to get there, or 6 months, or a year of daily action. So you're a good example of that now. 35,000 units sold just on WarriorPlus. But you still have products that do 30. I did a product after I done 1,000 sales that only got 50 sales. No affiliates liked it. I thought it was the greatest thing, but you don't stop after that. But Sean, you're known also for being able to put out new products every single week, or sometimes multiple products in a week. How do you do that? Because even to us, that seems crazy, and we're experienced. I know other product creators talk in the groups like, how can this guy have this massive amount of output? And at the quality that you do. So can you walk us through, basically how you organize yourself, how you come up with product ideas? So,
Sure. Let's start there. Let's just start with the ideas, because that's where it starts initially. So I've always got a radar on for ideas. And so when I'm answering emails, folks send me emails. I get emails every single day from people asking questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? Whatever. And whenever I get a question, there's this radar that says, hey, have I taught on this before? So can I recommend this person to just go get a product? Or sometimes I'll just send them a link to a product so they can learn. If I've never taught on it before, the question might be, okay, was this something valid? Is this something that just one person in the world wants to know? Or is this something a lot of people might be interested in? And a lot of times, if you're on my list, I'll send out these crazy emails that say, hey, have you ever thought about doing X, Y, Z? If so, if you got any questions, hit reply. I'm just fishing. I want to get the email that gets 35 people that write back, and they're like, yeah, I've thought about doing that, but nobody's taught it. If I send out one of those phishing emails and nobody responds, I'm like, okay, forget it. If I wake up tomorrow morning, so I send out a phishing email sometime during the day. I don't look at my emails till tomorrow morning. I wake up tomorrow morning, I got 35 replies saying, yeah, I'd really like to do this. So then my next thought is, okay, create a product. How can I do this? So really the question is, okay, how can I teach this in the smallest amount of time? And a lot of times, and when I first started creating products, I created 10, 20-hour training programs. It'd take me 3 weeks to create them, and you put them out there. What I discovered probably about 7 years ago was that a product that's 1 hour long converts just as well as a product that's 20 hours long. Converts just as well. And the question is, does it get the same amount of results? The truth of the matter is, if you create a 20-hour training program, most people only listen to the first hour anyway. And so the transition for me was, okay, I'm going to start loading as much as I can into the first hour, so that if people are only going to listen to 1 hour, they'll get most of the good stuff. Well, after a while, I'm like, why create the other 19 hours worth of training? So then the question is, okay, how can I pack everything somebody needs to know in that 1 hour brick so that they can study the 1 hour brick, they can go out there, they can implement it this week, and they can get results. And so, the next step is, okay, I'm going to do a 1 hour training. It may be 90 minutes, whatever. But how can I load as much into it? Let's do a 1 hour training. And then once it's outlined, then there's a choice. Do I record it on my own? I go in the office right now, record for an hour, and put it up as immediate download? Or do I just schedule it for next week at a certain time? Then I'm committed to it. And then that allows me to do is before I record it, I have the most juice. I've got the most ideas. And so the ideas allow me to write a quick sales letter. So I just sit down, open up, I still use Dreamweaver. So I just sit down and I just start typing, just as I just start pouring out my thoughts and ideas. And then I write the sales letter. Sales letter usually takes less than an hour. Obviously they're not perfect. They're not optimized. They're nothing. But what I've discovered is that they're in my voice, and my list likes my voice. And if we were to optimize them with like perfect NLP optimized super duper language, it wouldn't even convert as well to my list, because my list likes my voice, and my list drives my sales. My list drives affiliates wanting to promote. So once it's written, then I copy and paste the bullets that I wrote, and those become my outline. And so when I do the live recording a week from now, I literally just pull up those bullets I already wrote, and I just teach from those bullets. So I'm teaching to the sales letter, because people bought the sales letter. So therefore, I make the assumption they like the sales letter enough. All I've got to do is deliver it. They bought the sales letter. Now I got to deliver the sales letter. And that's it. So it takes an hour to do the training, whether I record it pre-recorded or I do it live. Just like right now, you think about, we're doing a training. This is a 30 to 45 minute training. That's, bam, there it is. An hour to write the sales letter. And then, over the course of 2 or 3 days, writing 3 or 4 emails, maybe another hour. So literally every week's product launch is a 1 hour deal.
And you do the sales letter first. So I don't, like, Mark, how does that affect you? Because Mark is a copywriter. He has 3 of the launches on JVZoo today in the top 10 are Mark's sales copy. Mark, you think that would make a difference if you did it before or after?
It's really interesting. Sean, you laid out 2 points that I think are worth recapping right here. First off, I love the fact that you're doing your fishing first. So for anybody listening, the most critical thing is determining that there's a rabid audience for what you have to teach. Okay? Anybody can go out and create a course on anything they want, but if there's no market, it'll never sell. And so, Sean, you've already sort of walked us through how you do that and find out that there's people interested. And Shane, great question. You'll probably remember a few months back, I created a product as a bit of a guinea pig experiment where I reverse engineered everything, and I did just what Sean does, but I didn't know he did it this way at the time. I started with the sales letter. So I wrote I did the research, then I did that there was a market in place, then I wrote a complete sales letter, and then just like Sean said, I used that sales letter to create my content. And I figured, well, if people buy into the sales letter, then I've got to make sure that I deliver what the sales letter says. Just like you did, Sean, just like you said. This was a one-off experiment that I did a few months ago, and it really focused me because instead of going off on all kinds of different tangents in the product creation, I just stuck to what I promised I would deliver in the sales letter. And the result was the most personal front-end unit sold of any product I've ever made. So as a product creator, I think it's brilliant. As a copywriter, I hate it. I want to see the product first, and then I'll write the copy for you. But as a product creator for someone getting started, I think that is an incredible way to go.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is, if you're writing copy for somebody else, you got to know what the guts of it are. It's totally reversed. It'd be impossible for you to go writing sales letters and then expecting people to create products around those sales letters. They've got their ideas of what the product's going to be. So it's a totally different ballgame. I'm a big fan of the McDonald's approach. I hope I'm not overstepping anything here, Shane, by rambling on. I've been a fan of the McDonald's approach for probably 20 years, before I got into online marketing. I always, when I was teaching something, I was in the grocery store business, when I was in sales, I was always asking the question, if I'm going to do something, can I do it in such a way that other people can do it easily? Because if I can do something and get a 20% better edge, but I can't reteach it, then why do it? I like being able to share with other people what I'm doing. And the thing is, it's taken almost 10 years to get to the place where this product creation process is the way that it is, and I've got a sales letter template that folks can use if they're kind of going through this whole process starting out. But I want to make the whole thing easy for somebody starting out. And somebody starting out, they can't do a 20-hour program. A 1-hour program is the top of their limit if they're going to do it even in a month. A 1-hour program. Same thing with a sales letter. I may do a 1-hour sales letter. It may take them 10 hours, but hey, it's something they can do right away. So they can write their sales letter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be an awesome copy like what you would write, Mark, but it's something that they can get started and put their hands on without investing a few $1,000s. They're on the sales copy. They're able to just get it out there. They're only going to make 10 sales on the first one anyway. So who cares anyway if it's perfect? They're able to make that quick product. They're able to put a quick download page on WordPress and get it out there. I like this idea of making it easy for people to get started and make something happen so they can get those first few sales.
Yeah. And you think, you focus on, well, I wouldn't call it make money on internet marketing niche, digital marketing niche, but your products aren't make X amount of dollars using this affiliate program. You have a little bit different approach, or you're more broad in nature, I would guess. Trying to explain to people who don't know Sean, the types of products you create, but they're applied. They're not, internet marketing or say CPA or ClickBank specific. They're more any niche digital marketing online. So, what you teach can be applied to any niche out there, whether you're in, coaching, if you have, dog training niche, anything. You're more of the mechanics, not specific to, specific products. You don't jump on trends or anything like that, Sean. So I don't know if that made any sense whatsoever.
Well, yeah, to me, Shane, yeah. I mean, for people listening, a lot of these are evergreen methods that, like you said, can be used in any niche. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, but you do train a lot in the areas of indirectly list generation, but definitely a big push on email marketing and communicating value to a following that you've built.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I learned early on and that I see all the time now, if you ask folks what their biggest challenge is in building their business, they'll tell you they don't have enough traffic. Like they can't get enough traffic. The traffic's not the problem. Traffic's a dime a dozen. The truth of the matter is it's easy to get traffic, but if you never convert it, then you don't know that you have traffic. I mean, you can look at your Google Analytics and go, I'm getting 1,000 visits a day. But if nobody becomes a subscriber, or worse, yes, people become subscribers, but they don't buy, it doesn't look like you got any traffic. You don't know that you've got any traffic. His numbers are a dime a dozen. But the email campaign is where the sales come from. I mean, 90% of all of my selling, to my list comes after day one. So if you don't have an email campaign, you're losing out on 90% of all sales. And so I just believe that having the email campaign makes it possible for you to drive traffic in an amazing number of different ways. And it doesn't matter what the numbers say. You got to have the subscribers, and they got to buy from you. And the email campaign makes.
Yeah, Sean, when you set up your emails, I know, sometimes I get one email a day from you, but you're a daily emailer. Are those all set up automatically? And then when you have a new product launch, you email out additionally? How do you structure your follow-up email campaigns when somebody joins your list?
Okay. So when somebody joins my list, they're going to initially go through, and it kind of depends on the stage right now. Right now, it's just like a 7-day campaign where, sometimes it's 6 different campaigns, and we move things in and out just based on my gut feeling about what's changing people's lives. And I just pulled a training program out of my system that was just an amazing converter. I mean, it was like $5 a subscriber if they've been on my list for a couple of weeks, and really making me a lot of money. But on that particular product, people were buying it, but these people were not getting results. And so just recently just pulled that out of the campaign, and, we'll find a way to work something else in. So initially you're going to get a 7-day campaign or 10-day campaign that sells something, and then there'll be another 7, just depending on conversion rate and changing people's lives. Simultaneously, there's a content campaign that goes out with a content email every 2 or 3 days. That is, I think it's supposed to be like 100 days long. I think right now, depending on where people come in, it's anywhere from 3 to 100 days long, depending on where people come in, and they'll get both of those. If they join a different list, they're going to get, 3 emails a week from there. In addition to that, I'm generally, if I'm alive and awake and working, I'm going to write 1 to 2 content emails a day and just send them out. And then in addition to that, if I'm releasing something new, I'm going to tell people about that. So it'd be an additional email. So depending on where people land and how prolific I am on a particular day, you may get anywhere from 1 to 7 or 8 emails.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you're obviously not scared to email. We see that problem with our coaching students. They finally get subscribers and sales, and now they're scared to email them because they're afraid they're going to unsubscribe. So you obviously do not have that fear.
No fear at all. Here, I welcome unsubscribes because see, if somebody doesn't like my content enough to read something and go, this is too much, then you don't really like what I have. If all you want is 3 emails a week and you just want to dip your toe in and taste things out, you're not really excited. But if you really, really, really like a particular candy bar and you have an opportunity to eat 3 a day and not blow up, if you have the opportunity to eat 3 a day, you're going to eat 3 a day. I remember when I was in college, Snickers bars and Coca-Cola got me through, and then I might have had 3 or 4 Snickers bars every single day. And that was okay. If folks are unsubscribing because they get the 4th email in a day and they didn't read the first 3, they don't belong on my list anyway. So the only people, in my opinion, that are unsubscribing are people that don't like my way. And if you don't like my way, what are you doing hogging my resources by getting my emails in your inbox? I'd rather you out. And what it does is it leaves a loyal following of people that we can target exactly what they want, rather than sending emails out to tens of thousands of people that, even if they respond, they're not your buyers anyway. They're not your loyal followers. And so the answers to the questions you ask are going to be wrong for the products that are going to sell. So answer that. No fear. Please.
Yeah, when we used to be in the fully in the WarriorPlus world, where we create product, 1 month, then for the next 20 days we send out emails to other products. We burned out our list incredibly fast. And then when we started I Am Rebels, almost a year ago now, and then we built in daily emails. We have just over 4 months now of email series, and it's 1 to 2 emails a day. Our unsubscribe rates dropped to almost nothing compared to when we were promoting a different product every day without automatic follow-ups. So once you build that brand around yourself and your emails and you stop promoting everybody else, it really affects your unsubscribes, and you get people who want to be on your list. Now we make more money now creating a new product and just launching it internally versus putting something on WarriorPlus and having to recruit affiliates and having it disappear and never to be sold again. But when you can keep something in your follow-up funnel, you can sell it for life. Here's a good question, Sean. Maybe you can take on. Let me see in the chat here. Let's see. Let me get the right name. But Stella says she hates writing emails. Any other way other than writing? Oh, like super charismatic videos. Yeah, I mean, we link to videos when you come in our Indoc series. If you join our list, you get a different video every day for 3 days. And we still link to videos, but you still have to create the videos. It's no different than, writing an email. But, any tips for Sean for people who are new that hate writing emails or don't have that confidence yet? Just do it and get over it and learn, or what?
Well, Shane, I mean, that would be my first gut response would be just get over it and learn. And I'll address that in just a second. But for the person that asked, is there an alternative way? Yeah, I think so. I think video is an alternative. I think that in today's world, you can turn on screen. I'm on a Mac, so I use ScreenFlow, but Camtasia. You can turn on ScreenFlow or Camtasia, or, people have iPhones, and I'm sure on the Androids and Googles and all that, you can do the same thing, little app where you can just turn it on and do a 1-minute video message. And I believe that if you were to set up your email campaign from the very beginning where it was just all video, and so your email went out, but all it said was, here's my video for the day. But over time, you'd pull that word out because everybody knows it's going to be your video. You see, we train people to act a certain way. It's like my dog. I trained her to eat at a certain time, and an hour before that time, she's going to start getting hungry. And she starts coming and explaining to me that in 1 hour, she's going to be hungry. And she lets me know. It's the same way on the list. If you just send a video out every day, People are going to be used to that. And so you can send an email out that says the tip of the day, but instead of the tip of the day, it's, whatever you teach. Let's go dogs. You teach dog training, how to make your dog sit. And then the link just goes to the video. It always goes to a video, and it's a 1-minute video. Every day it's a 1-minute video. And then at the end it says, Stella. It says, bye, Stella. And people will get used to clicking through to those videos. Now, what will happen is in 30 days, the list will split. Half the list will stop clicking because they don't like videos. That's okay. Every 30 days, go in and take everybody that no longer opens your emails, get them all off your list. That's a really scary thing, especially for new people to do. But hey, if they're not opening anyway, why would you continue to send emails? It's kind of like asking a girl on a date. If you ask a girl on a date every day for 30 days and she says no 30 days in a row, guess what? It's time to give up. Same thing here. So I would say to Stella, you can do, I believe it. I don't know how it'll work, but I believe that you could do it. And then when it's time to sell a product, your sales letter is a video sales letter. Why? Because you've segmented your list into video readers. So now you just do. I remember Frank Kern came out with that first. It was like 5 years ago. He was driving his car and he did that. That video where it was just he was just talking. Somebody was interviewing him in the other part of the car. They're just driving around Miami Beach or something. And I don't know, he did $200,000 or something driving around Miami Beach. I don't remember all the details on that. And the thing is, if you got used to just turning your iPhone on for a 1 minute every day, then 2 weeks from now, when it's time to create a product, a video for an hour video training, or you're going to do a webinar, now you just do a 5 minute, and at the end there's a call to action that says, go here to buy. I believe you could do it without writing any words in email. Now, Shane, would you like me to address just writing the email? Or you want to move on?
We can go to the question here. Stella says she's got the confidence to write fine, but find the time. With our emails, we don't write them every day. We chunk them. So, I work better in bursts. So we'll find a 2-hour burst where Mark and I will jump on and say, all right, we need 15 more emails to add. Let's knock these out in 2 hours. Then we'll go back and look at them after we have data and stats coming in. Are people opening them? Are the subject lines working? Are we getting clicks? Then we'll edit it out. But Fitzgerald's got a question here. I know, Sean, last month, was it? You said you retired from the WarriorPlus. You're no longer going to offer products on there. But he wants to know if you're still making products and on what platform.
Okay, so a couple of different things. Number one, the big thing that I got away from was the WSOs. And unfortunately, most folks don't realize there's a split now between WSOs and WarriorPlus. And even, when it happened, a lot of us continued to use that same lingo, that same language. And so for me, a WSO is kind of this low ticket, Warrior special offer type of thing that, according to the rules, is designed to sell at a much lower price than it's really worth and to kind of blow it out. That's on the Warrior. That's the Warrior forum side. The WarriorPlus is simply an affiliate network. And so the key thing that I got away from was the WSOs, the low-priced stuff that just attracts people that will only buy on the low-ticket end. So having said, and then that leaves open the opportunity to continue using the WarriorPlus affiliate network. In the course of the last month, I have done some experiments on JVZoo for launches, and in fact had something interesting happen. I've been told, looking at the stats, boy, it's really hard to rank on the top 10 at JVZoo, et cetera, et cetera. We did our first big JVZoo a couple of weeks ago, and the second day we were number 5 on the list. And that was really interesting. And of course, I tracked sales numbers, and so it allowed me to kind of estimate what others were doing that day to be on that list. And I think I think JVZoo is more achievable than folks realize. And the third thing is, I'm still doing internal launches just like I've done for 10 years. I'm still doing internal launches. Yeah, I think that covers. There's a lot of little things that we're doing that are frankly irrelevant, that aren't that profitable, et cetera, et cetera. But those are the 3 platforms right now.
Mark, you have 3 products on JVZoo Top 10 today? Are you able to mention some?
My clients have 3 products on the top 10.
You wrote the sales cases for them, right?
Yeah.
You know a little bit better what the difference is between make WarriorPlus Top 10 and JVZoo Top 10.
I think Sean hinted at it. What we're getting into is there's a definite price and almost a value differential in the two platforms. Even though WarriorPlus is a very premium affiliate platform, a lot of the products we see on there are really, really low price. They're really low barrier entry products. We get into JVZoo, we see a lot more, not only do we see a lot more software, mainly we see a lot of software on there, but the info products tend to sell for a higher price. So product creators can actually do better, affiliates can do better, because a product that you might sell for $7, $8 on WarriorPlus is now commanding 17 on JVZoo and doing just as well. There's a perceived value on that platform. There are some affiliates who will only promote products on that platform from what I'm seeing. So I think overall, it's definitely got this sort of slightly bigger ticket value perception behind it.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. By the way, Mark, congratulations. That's pretty cool to have written the sales copy for 3 of the top 10 on JVZoo
well,
right now.
Thanks, Sean. It's the product behind the copy. It always is, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, please ask. We don't like to take too much time, just like Sean's products, we like to keep this digestible so you can go back and watch it, and we share it with our listen channels later that people get some real value out of it. So if you have any questions for Sean, please don't be afraid to ask. We can even give up one of our seats if you want to jump on live with Sean. There's a good question for you, Sean. You see that there from Toby? How did you get so good at audio recordings?
Practice. I mean, I remember the first time that I ever did an audio recording. I can't even remember exactly, but I remember when I was doing, I think my list building starter course, whatever it was probably the first one. And if I remember correctly, I either scripted that out word for word, or it was a very, very detailed outline. And so I'm literally just reading it. And if you have that training, I don't even know where you could buy it now, so don't ask. But if somebody had that training, you listen to it, I mean, it sounds really, really amateur. The second thing I think is that I don't necessarily care how necessarily good that I sound. I care about results. I don't even know that I'm good at audio recording now, but I'm willing to just speak. And I think that that's important. One thing that I used to use as an example, and folks would ask me, well, how can I get my stuff out there? I ask the question, if you were sitting in a coffee shop and a friend walked up to you and said, hey, how can I do what you're doing? Can you tell me a little bit about it? And they were asking a few questions. You would answer those questions and you could talk for an hour. But as soon as you turn the recorder on, you freeze up. There's no difference between having a coffee shop conversation and having an audio conversation. So then I say, okay, well, the next step would be you'll be able to answer questions in a coffee shop. So write out your 20 questions and have someone in your life just ask them to you and turn the recorder on. So now that allows you to. Now, if you take that, do that like 3 times, would it be any different if you just had the questions on a sheet of paper and there was no human asking you the question? You just read the question to yourself and then spoke the answer, and you do that 20 times, you got a 60-minute recording. So I think if somebody were to do this every single week, for those that follow me, I recommend 1-hour product recording, whether you like it or not, whether you have any subscribers or not, whether you're making any money, every single week. And if you do that, after a year, you have 50 hours of content. Guaranteed, hands down, you'll be better after 50 hours than you were on the first.
Yeah, that's the same. We've been putting up Udemy courses, and we try to do 2 videos a day. It sounds simple enough, but 2 videos a day has got us up to 9 courses right now, and then, a good chunk of income just by doing 2 videos a day. So you would do what Sean says and just do an hour a day. There you
go. An hour a week?
Hour a week. Yeah, hour a week. Anybody can do an hour a week. And our first Udemy courses were awful. They were bad compared to the ones we have now, So still sell, they still make money. We don't get angry emails from people. Right. No one's throwing a brick through our window. But the value's there. The most important thing is, we're offering value. The value has to be there. Yep. Mark, do you want to take that question from Todd?
What was the last question? Sorry, I'm just checking it out now.
Says if you're going to put
a product, on an affiliate link, is there a particular price point that needs to be met, up or lower? Good question. It really depends on the affiliate crowd, to be honest, but not necessarily. What most affiliates are, honestly, they're salespeople. They're looking to make a buck. So it's going to depend on two things: price point and your commission payout structure. Most affiliates are pretty comfortable making $10 a sale, give or take. Correct me if you think I'm up or down on that, Shane and Sean.
No, that's what I'm looking for.
But I think about $9-10 a sale, like before any upsells, is absolutely perfect. So if you have a $10 or sub $10 product out there on the marketplace, you want to be offering 100% commissions. What we see a lot on JVZoo is we see a lot of $17 to $19 products where they're offering a 50% commission, but they have a very strong funnel in place. So when affiliates send traffic, they're likely not just to make the 50% on the front end, but they're likely to make some sales on the back end products as well. So look at the market, just like before you create a product, you look at demand, look at what is selling in the marketplace on whatever platform, check out those price points, and you'll find your target.
Yeah, because Mark, you said what, the $47 OTO you did the VSL for is converting at what, 30% today?
Yeah, but a lot of that stems from the fact that it's also highly relevant to the front-end product. But price isn't the main issue. For a lot of people, it's value, perceived value for the dollar.
Mm-hmm. But Sean, how do you price your products?
The funniest thing is, I could say almost the same thing Mark does. And really, it depends on the platform. It depends on who's going to promote it. It depends on how my list is going to respond. So I always create a product for my list first. Even if I'm putting it on WarriorPlus or I'm putting it on JVZoo, it must convert to my list, and I have to know it's going to convert because the first 100 sales must occur in the first half a day. And because of the fact that I don't pander to affiliates, I don't ask anybody to promote for me. I've got maybe 7 people that they personally asked me, if you release something, please let me know. And so those 7 people, I send an email out that says, hey, I'm releasing it. But I don't have an affiliate list. I don't have an autoresponder that goes to affiliates. That anybody that's promoted me, I don't ask people ahead of time to promote anything. I know anyway, because this is what I do. If I don't already know somebody personally and know that it's going to convert, I wait until they get 100 sales. I look at the conversion, the EPC, and I say, okay, do people like this? Because that's an indicator. EPC is an indicator of how much people like it. Then I ask, will my list eat this up and really like it? And so then, if it's converting well, then dig into it and say, will the people on my list eat it up? So that's the affiliate side. So from my perspective, I'm going to price my product based on what my list is going to do to give us good EPC and to make the sales happen quickly. And obviously we want the higher prices. If we can be at 19 to 39 on the front end, then that's awesome. And I believe that attracts affiliates that have better lists down the road. So if you're marketing to affiliates that have the guts and the list that will buy at 19 to 39, the people that come onto the list will spend $100 on average rather than spend $20 on average if they came in on a $5 to $7.
Yeah, your free subscribers are worth less, then your $1 subscribers are about worthless, and then as the price goes up, there's that. We found like a $10 wall. We used to price our stuff at $7, and we moved up to 10, and there's no difference in conversions. But the $10 people buy the upsell products at a greater rate than the $7 do. Let's just wrap up with some more of the questions here. Let's see here. Jumpstart Now. Sorry, I don't know your name. He says, what platform provides the most income for you in general, or does it depend on the product being sold?
Is that for me?
Yeah, if you want to take it.
So, I don't have much of an answer because it really depends on if you promote it. If I take a product that's going to do 10 grand this week, if I put it on WarriorPlus, I'm going to do more on WarriorPlus this week. If I put it on JVZoo, if I put it on ClickBank, I'll do more on ClickBank. So it really depends on the product and the audience, not the platform. To me, the platform it has two pieces. Number one, it's how you get paid, and that's what they get paid for. And second, it's a different place of exposure. That's it. The platform doesn't make the sales happen. Like I think Mark alluded to earlier, it's the product that makes the sales happen. And then obviously Mark writes great copy, so it sells 4 times as much as without the great copy. But if the product isn't there, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what platform you put it on. It'll sell if you have the audience. I was probably the wrong person to take that question.
There was one.
I think you summed it up perfectly.
There was one question before that about if you plan on doing more video training or just stick to audio. Sean. Yeah, Sean, sorry.
I only do video when it's like, okay, this is the only way I can convey the point. It's to me, it's more time consuming. There's just so much that goes into making it happen. And I recognize it's so easy to just turn one of these on. I like being able to do, I like typing. I mean, I could type for 2 hours a day and crank out 5,000 words a day. And I just love that. I really enjoy it. That's, I do audio because I can speak, 10,000 words in an hour instead of 2,500. And so that's why I really, really like audio. To me, folks don't get any more value out of video than they do out of audio if they're willing to listen. I mean, Talking Head, this is fun because there's 4 of us and there's interaction and everybody watching can see that. But if it's just me moving my lips, you're not going to watch me anyway. I mean, when I buy videos from other people, I watch them for 2 minutes. When I realize that they're not turning colors or they're not doing somersaults, I open up another screen. I listen to them in one ear and I do something in another. It's no different than audio. Now, hey, does video probably convert better if we make a video audience? Sure. And to Stella, go ahead if that's what you like to do. But for me, I like the audio because I don't have to worry about lighting. I don't have to worry about background. I don't have to worry about as much bandwidth. To me, it's a lot easier. So the answer is probably not going to do any more video than I've been doing, which is a few videos a year when I come up with something that I really think folks should see instead of hearing.
Kevin, I'll take your question because you're not in the internet marketing niche. You're in creating a product on violin that we've been working on with Kevin. So you wouldn't worry about you for your first 100 sales. Of course, you're building a pre-sale list right now, so you'll mail out and test that, and you'll use your pre-sale list to know what the conversions are. So when you open it to affiliates and affiliates mail, you're going to be able to make money because then you can go through and test what is working and isn't working. So what Sean said there about the first 100 sales wouldn't really apply to your situation, but you would use that pre-sale list that you're building right now, and you would mail that out first before you opened up your affiliate program. Let's take a couple more questions here. Oh, Kevin, you're trying to understand Sean's process. Yeah, so he opens it up. He mails it himself. I think another reason, Sean, is you make money, right? You're not, that way you don't have affiliates grabbing your sales too. So it allows you to make some money for the day, right?
Well, I mean, that's not really the first consideration, and really has never been the first consideration. The key thing for me, and I think that it's important to differentiate between beginners and people that are doing 10 grand a week in sales. The audience, the people that want to learn about product creation are generally not doing 10 grand a week, because if you're doing 10 grand a week, you know how to create products. That's not the audience. And so usually when I talk about telling people what to do, I'm like, look, get it out there, make your first 10 sales, put it on the Warrior Forum, because you're going to be able to advertise to people that are, if you go to ClickBank or JVZoo, there's no way to get people eyeballs on it until you make 100 sales. So if you're just starting out, the Warrior Forum's a great place because you can buy your way in to the forum itself. You can buy a banner ad. You can do a lot of things that can make you 10 or 15 sales and get those first 10 starter buyers. Once you've got 200 buyers, my recommendation would be alternate. Do a WarriorPlus offer one week, do a JVZoo offer the next week, so that you're building up some variety. And then a year from now, when you know you can command 500 sales, you get to choose where do you want to go. You can use ClickBank, JVZoo, WarriorPlus, whatever makes you happy. So kind of looking at that process. For me, I'm looking at conversion rate. Because if I open it up to a whole bunch of affiliates, I mean, I've got a small basket of affiliates that can guarantee me high conversion rates. But my assistant sometimes allows affiliates to join that aren't going to give me good conversion rates. And there's only so many ways that you can say, okay, you got to have a 10% conversion rate or 5% to authorize them, but that person doesn't convert well for me. I mean, how do you convey that without being a dictator? And so we get some affiliates in there that just run a whole bunch of traffic and drive conversion rates down. If we can get my 100 sales in first and get a nice high conversion rate, and then a few good affiliates promote that night, then we're number one on WarriorPlus, or we're number 5 on JVZoo the next day. Then we've got that high conversion rate. Affiliates jump in. By the time they drive conversion rate down 5 days later, we've already got the sales. We're ready to close. We're ready to do next week's
Good
sale.
point. We'll just finish up the questions here. Here's a good one from Todd. Do you recommend starting at a price point below $30 and then build, or do you start off the bat with a product of $100?
So it really depends on your list and your market. I mean, if you've got a list that you've built and you've built a great relationship, sure. Could you launch a $100 first product? Sure. Are any affiliates going to promote it? Well, no, probably not, because you're not proven. If you've got a freebie list that you've created and you maybe were starting out on the Warrior forum so that you can promote, my goodness, set it at $1 or $7 or something. Let's get as many sales as possible. If you already have a base of sales and you're launching something and you're going to put it on JVZoo, well, you're probably better off at the $19 price point. So it really depends on the audience. There's no magic number.
Okay.
No,
Awesome.
and just to add to that real quick, not only is there no magic number, but you also have to be studying the market. I have seen a half a dozen launches in the last year from big name product creators that came out at $17 or $27, and after day one they dropped the front end price because they found it wasn't converting. And it just depends on the market. So be willing to experiment. And as Sean said, if you're brand new, put it out there. $5.95, $7, build your list, do that. But if you're thinking about 17, 27 and getting into bigger numbers, be willing to test conversions and tweak in that first day or two.
Hey, Sean, we're going to wrap it up here, but where can people find you online that don't know you yet? Do you have any?
That's a good question. So if you go to YouTube, we don't really have a centralized place. So, when I started this, we started out at EzineArticles, and I'm just a real big believer in kind of a holographic presence. So if folks go to YouTube and then type in Sean Mize, they'll find some of my personal videos that will make a big difference in their life. You go to YouTube and type in Info Business University, you'll find it's actually a new channel where we're testing out some new things. We're really excited about what's going on there. Or you can Google Sean Mize. You'll find a few different places. If you really want to go to a website, and then infobusinessuniversity.com would be a great place to go. EzineArticles, just Google or put in the search button Sean Mize. I think that's the easiest thing rather than just
All right, yeah, I'm dropping some stuff here. Info. Okay, cool. Sean, we really appreciate you jumping on with us. We know you probably have a product to create right after this, but
Or a ski to go for, depending on time of day.
Skiing after this.
Yeah. I had planned to ski. I'd love to. I'm hoping that this afternoon I'll get a few runs in. But you've definitely, Shane, I want to tell you this. You sparked my mind because, I didn't realize the impact of the WSO Master Report. I did not realize that. And so there's something sparked. The funniest thing is I actually wrote about half of a sales letter from my time. It's 9 o'clock when we started. At 8:26, I sat down and wrote half a sales letter for something I was going to release this afternoon. And then afterwards, I was going to write the other half of it right when we got off of here. Probably what I'm going to do in the next 20 minutes is think about what we've talked about today and think about releasing something that builds on what we've done today. So I don't know when that will occur. But yeah, you've definitely sparked my juices. I've got an idea for
Cool.
you
Yeah,
in the back
a
of my mind.
PDF report too, which I'm happy about. That's my preference.
That's about
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wrap it up here with
flattery.
the last question here from Vision Purpose. Sean, can you see that question in the messages?
Yes, I can.
We'll finish up on this one here.
I'll read it. What's your philosophy in dealing with customers who keep buying but never apply or get results? Like all of y'all, only sell or promote a product that the average buyer can easily follow without having great skills first and getting great results. Okay, so I think there's two questions embedded in there. I want to be fair, and I'll answer the first one. If you keep buying but you never apply, you'll probably stop buying because you don't get results. I've actually told a few clients this week that have emailed me with questions. These are people that have been around for 2 or 3 years. They've bought a lot of things. They've asked me questions. I've told them what to do. They have not done what I told them what to do. And basically, in the last few days, I've told several people, look, I don't know that I want to continue to work with you. Why do you keep asking? I mean, I'm being direct with you. Why do you keep asking me how to do things if you're not going to do it? If you're not going to make it happen, then stop buying. What I also do is if I see that folks are buying stuff and griping because they're not using it, I take them off my list. I mean, I will actually, when we were talking earlier about, I'd love for you to unsubscribe if you don't like my emails. I actively unsubscribe people if I don't like their emails to me. And so if they're not applying and getting results, I take them off. And then there's that part of the people that just buy, not just from me, but they buy from Mark and they buy from Shane and they buy from Dennis and they buy from, Brad and they buy from everybody else and they don't do anything with it. They put it all on their hard drive. I speak to that. If you're on my list, I probably talk about once a week, stop buying WSOs over and over and over again. And here I am. I'm a WSO producer, or was a WSO producer. I'm a WarriorPlus producer. I'm a JVZoo producer. And yet I'll tell people, stop buying a daily WSO. It's stupid. You're not going to, I mean, really, it's stupid. Just stop doing it. And so I'm aggressive about telling people, quit buying stuff if you're not using it. Buy one thing. Get off of everybody else's list. Get off of my list if I'm not helping you. Choose one person to follow for 90 days. Do everything you can. So the other part of that question, can I scroll up here and see the other questions? I don't remember. Okay, so the second, you'll only sell that the average buyer can easily follow. I think that's awesome. And, I think that Shane and I don't know, Mark, what, your products and your stuff, and maybe you're just doing the copywriting, but for Shane and I think for the most part, almost everything we produce, the average person can easily follow and not have great skills. About once a month, I release something that's more advanced. And, I want to share something. I know we're going over time, Shane, but I think this is important. I get upset with myself almost every time I release something advanced because I release it because people want something advanced, but most advanced people don't view me as somebody that's able to teach the advanced stuff because I teach so much of the beginner stuff. So when I release an advanced thing, the advanced people don't buy it anyway. The lower end people that are new, they buy the advanced stuff and don't understand it. And so it really messes people up. So, I mean, in an ideal world, I would stop producing anything advanced and only do the beginner stuff because that's unfortunately, that's where 95% of the market is on the beginner end of the market. And so, although we can command higher prices with the advanced stuff. So, I mean, that's a tough one. Shane, if it'd be all right, can I address something that we talked about earlier?
Yeah, we still have over 50 people on the call, so no problem. We can keep it going as long as we have questions going on and we still have this many people on the call. Let's keep going.
Okay, cool. There's something that, we've talked about today. We kind of talked about that split between beginners and advanced. So if you're a beginner, it's your first JVZoo or it's your first WSO or it's your first anything, the dynamic of releasing it is completely different. You just want a buyer's list. Sell it for 99 cents. Who cares? Make 100 people buyers and get your buyer's list and then make your next item $19. 20 of the dollar buyers will buy your $19 item and now you're in. Okay. And then we kind of talked about this $7 to $10. So let's say it's $10 because we know that it does better on the back end. So it's a $10 item versus a $20 or a $30 item. What do we do? Here's the thing. if you're lead generating and you have a big list, if you don't have a list, we're not talking to you anymore. We already talked to you. If you have a good size list and you're lead generating, you go for $10 because at the same EPC, you're going to end up with twice as many sales, which means twice as many buyers, so you're lead generating. But if you promote a $10 item to your list day in, day out, week in, week out, you train them to only buy at $10, and so your list never grows. And so in order to maximize your list, you need to be promoting to your list at, say, $30 to $100, and then occasionally promoting something big for $20, and then maybe once every 60 days you say, okay, we're going to do a $10, we're going to pull out all the stops, I'm going to get as many leads as possible. We go out there, we dominate the market with a $10 item, then we come back, and we for the next 60 days, we go back to $20, $30, $70, $100. Then we get to that $100 level. For people that want to go above that, you do internal launches, do $500,000, $5,000 internally. 60 days later, you come back and you release another $7 to $10 item that generates a whole bunch of new leads. So I think it's important that folks don't say, okay, well, my strategy is $10, my strategy is $20. No, your strategy is $10 for leads, $20 for better leads, $30 for more money, $100 to really change people's lives. That's what we do. And then we mix it all up, and we're able to maximize price points, and we're able to change.
Yeah, and I think, we don't really teach anything or even do anything ourselves that people would consider, advanced. I mean, if you saw our business model, we're pretty transparent on our blog. If you saw our business model, which is writing a blog post, driving traffic to an opt-in, having follow-up emails in place that sells my product every 7 days, you can find that 100 times over in a $7 WSO. It's just, we just took action and put it into place. And, and once you start doing it, you go, holy cow, what do you know, it works. But it won't work unless you take action. We see people that say, oh, this is too simple, this won't work. Well, have you set it up? Have you done it? No. So,
Shane, I got it. I just want to jump in, just for the listeners on the call right now. I know there's still over 50. The last 4 minutes that you just heard from Sean, for me, are the most high valuable takeaway. I was rushing to take notes. So come back and listen to this, because what you just heard from Sean, mixing up price points, mixing up your market and your goals, that's worth more than a lot of coaching programs that you might go out and pay a lot of money for. So personally for me, Sean, thanks for sharing that. That was massive. And for the people on the call, I just want you to recognize how important that was.
Cool.
Mark, thank you. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm glad it was valuable to you. Thanks so much. I want to ask Mark a question, if that's okay, Shane. So, Mark, obviously, I don't know you, and I should. And just hearing you speak a few times, you've got an amazing level of insight into, buyer activity because of what you do. You have an amazing level of insight. If you're on this call wondering if someone might ask you the perfect question that you're most qualified to answer, what would that question be?
What somebody on this call, what is their most perfect question to ask me? That I'm most qualified to answer?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great question. That's a huge question, but I would say that it would have to hinge upon how can they maximize conversions. How can they maximize turning prospects on their offer into buyers of their product?
Okay, great. So I'd like to ask you that question.
Thank you very much.
How can folks maximize conversion and maximize response to their offer?
So thanks for putting me on the spot. I guess I asked it myself. Anyway, we'll do that in two tiers. First off, we'll look at it in if you don't have a list. Okay, so if you don't have a list and you're just cold advertising or using affiliates to come to your product, anybody new to product creation, as we're encouraging people to do and Sean's encouraging people to do, you have to get to know your product inside and out. And don't think that just because you wrote it that you know it. You have to look at it and be willing to tear it apart in the viewpoint of somebody that is your toughest critic. When you can do that, then you can answer objections in your sales page. And when you answer objections in your sales page, you win. Like, you have to be, it's like you said, Sean, about your list. You have to be blatantly upfront about it, and you have to be willing to say, all right, you know what? You have a problem with this, and you have to be willing to tick people off and take them right off of your page right away. But say, you can't do this. This is your problem. Not specifically your problem, but this is what people struggle with. Here is how this answers that problem for you. So get away from falling in love with your product and think about the prospect that is reading about your product. Okay, that's what I do if I want to maximize conversions as a first-time product creator without a list. Now, once I have a list, much like you, Sean, now I'm going to leverage that asset a little bit, and I'm going to show other people in the market. You do it without recruiting affiliates. People come to you. You're going to basically show people that your stuff converts. You're going to prove that you've tested it on your own market, and you can quote an EPC of this much. You can quote a conversion rate of this much. And what happens then is conversions become much easier because you start attracting much higher quality traffic. So that's my two-tier approach that I would go with.
Thanks for sharing that, Mark. I appreciate it. It was good to hear that insight.
I hope it answers your question, Sean, anyway.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think that, you know, I would suggest that if folks would combine what you just said was kind of a high point from me, if they would combine that with what you just said, what you just shared, I think folks could put themselves in a position, not magically overnight, but in the next 90 to 180 days, where anybody listening to what I shared a few minutes ago and what you just shared could become a good product producer with converting products 180 days from now.
I'd agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap it up. Sean, thanks again. When are you going to start your own weekly blab? Is that coming soon?
Shane, I don't know. There's only 20 hours in a week. And this is an hour, and it probably took you a few hours to court me to get this to happen, and all the emails. I don't know if I've got 3 hours a week. I've got 20 hours. I got to maximize those hours. And so, hey, why do my own blab when, you know, you might invite me every 3 months to be here, and, you know, you do the hard work, and I show up and invite my subscribers.
Be our pleasure. Be our pleasure, Sean.
Anytime.
All right. Awesome. Sean, thanks again. Have fun skiing today.
Thanks a lot, Sean.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, you're
Make sure
welcome.
you guys
Thank
check
you,
out
Mark. Good to
Info
meet you,
Business
Mark.
University. I put the links up there, and then here's the link again. You get more information about Sean. Shoot him an email. Ask him to send you the WSO Master Report. Hopefully, Sean, you save your products. So, yeah, shoot Sean an email. Ask him for the WSO Master Report. Let's see if he's in a given mood. I kind of put you on the spot there, Sean. But that took all of us full time. We know a handful of other guys also that took them full time. So I know you like working with action takers just like we do. Sean's got his YouTube channel going, so check it out. Find us at I Am Rebels, and then we'll talk to everybody later. Thanks again, Sean.
Thanks.
Hey, sounds good. Thank you.
See you guys.
See ya.
See you next Thursday. We'll post the replays up on the blog or YouTube, and then you'll see the replay here, everyone. Thank you.